You got to be patient with them. You got to tell them what you want, and then you got to help them get to it. And you've got to tell them in words that they can see. You got to be very clear. You can't talk in generalities. Or you ask them questions and you see if you can solicit them out of it. And when they get close to it, you go, that's a good answer. Let's do it that way. And sometimes that good answer is a good B- answer. It doesn't come close to your A+ solution, but at least he's in the game. When I was in graduate school, they had us work with 3 entities: rats, pigeons, and undergraduates. They figured if we understood those 3, the rest of the population would fall into line. I was really very good at rats. Something about just zapping them with electricity and letting them go their merry way was very appealing to my psyche. The pigeon was a little bit trickier for me. So they give you a pigeon, comes in a cage about this wide by this wide, and you don't have to teach a pigeon to peck. It has a natural pecking instinct. It comes naturally, much like an employee. They have a natural sense of working. They need a job. They want to put their family food on the table, kids to college, all that stuff. And I was supposed to teach my pigeon to peck a bar that was hanging off the side of the cage. And when she pecked the bar, I was going to give her a pellet, and then she was going to peck it again. I was going to give her another pellet, and I would teach her to dance, and she'd peck it again. And that was the routine. Now, for those of you who are having a hard time, I'm the manager, the pigeon's the employee, okay? So you're following the routine. I named my pigeon Sylvia after my grandmother. I went into my lab. I sat there as this big hunk hanging over the side and say, come on, Sylvia, peck that bar, because I got the undergraduates waiting for me. I was really interested in the co-eds, quite frankly, but young man, you all have your desires. Sylvia was scared. She was hovering in the corner. So a half hour later, I'm sitting on the other side of the lab figuring that pigeon pecks the bar, I'll throw the pellet at him. I mean, I'm mad at him. And managers can't get mad at your employees. It's like a doctor getting mad at your patient. I mean, it's just not the right balance. You're there to help them. You're there to guide them. You're not supposed to be angry at them. 2 days go by. A few things are happening. One, Sylvia's not pecking the bar, and she's getting very hungry. The other thing's happening is I'm not getting any closer to the co-eds and the undergraduates. So I grab my pigeon, I walk across campus, and I go to my professor, Dr. Riak, and I said, Dr. Riak, I need a new pigeon. This one doesn't work. And you've said this about your employees. Give me a new group. This isn't good. This is younger generation. And Dr. Riak had a great response. She said, Mr. Wasserman, when are you going to realize we're not here to train the pigeon, we're here to train you? Even at that young age, I sat there thinking to myself, this is a memorable line. I'm going to have to remember this one. So I took Sylvia back and I plugged her back in and plugged it all up. And I noticed 2 things. One, she wasn't as frightened of me as she had been earlier. And 2, on occasion, she did get close to the bar. She had no place else to go, so she'd walk over. And if they're walking, they're pecking. And, you know, so whenever she got close to the bar, I gave her a pellet. And as the days went by, I'd walk in. She goes, him again. You know, I stand over here. Good things happen. And by accident, one day, she pecked the bar. I gave her a handful of pellets. I took a pellet. I figured I might as well celebrate. And I realized what I'm teaching you. It's called reinforcing successive approximations. It's the only large word I remember from graduate school, and it's basically saying, get all excited with your people when they get close to what you want them to do. They're not going to get there right away. And we have to be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. How many managers I speak to, I say, Bill goes, I've talked to this person, I told them this, and they can't do it. How many times do you talk? I told them twice. Yeah? First time they weren't listening. The second time they might have heard something. You know, you're going to have to be a little bit clearer. You're going to have to be more patient. It takes people more time.